Okay, welcome back. So, did you get it? Did you get a solution that works? If you did, congratulations. You're making a lot of progress here. I'm very proud of you. Now, if you gave it a good effort and you got some of this, but you're not sure on a few things, I'm also proud of you for making that effort. If you didn't do anything at all, and you went out with your friends, had a few drinks, forgot what day it was, came back and you're looking at it, I'm not really proud of you. At least you're still here. So let's go through the solution together. Okay. All right, so I'm just going to tag an exercise solution over here. And in order to run this solution, I'm just going to put it in the main function. We've been doing this a lot now. We went over what functions are, how to execute them, so I'm not going to give you every little detail for these solutions. You should have an idea of how to run your code. And if you don't, then you should just go back to the function part of this course. So we want to create an array with the following integer values. We call it whatever we want. So I'm going to use let. All right, and mut, because there's going to be a mutating array. We're going to modify it. We're going to call this, let's just say, array exercise. And I'm going to declare this explicitly as data type. So remember, I'm going to bring in the colons. So I'm going to do I32 for sign. And we have 6 values. And then let's set up what these values are. So we got 12, 2, 3, 2, 4, and 5. There you go. And this should actually do the first part, of this exercise. Now we want to write a for loop that can loop through the array and replace all the integer values, the 2 with 0. So what kind of loop? Well, this is going to be a definite loop because we can actually just run to the end of the length of the array. In this case, I know it's 6, but what I could do is I could just write for, and I'm going to say I, and I is going to stand for index. So I'm just going to say I. You could call it index. That's fine too. For I in, and what are we going from? Well, we're starting at the first index value. We're going to loop until 6, right? Because we want to include all of these, all right? And we bring in our curly brackets, and we're going to say if array exercise is what? Well, if we get a value that's equal to 2, right? We want to say every time that we hit 2, then we want to replace it. So we can say array exercise should then equal, right, difference, right, between equivalency and assigning value 0. Okay, and we'll end the expression with a semicolon. Now, is this right? Well, no, because we're missing one thing, right? Because here, if array exercise of what? Well, I has to be in the array exercise. What are we setting? Well, whenever I hits 2 of the array, so what we could do is, since we know we're looping, this is where the magic comes in of a loop. We bring in I. I is going to be changing in each iteration. We could do the same thing for what we want to set it at, right? And there you go. And there's the loop. And there's the loop with the if condition statement. Now, we want to make sure that we're printing these results as we go. So we're going to write a print. So we're going to say println. We're going to say the index is... And because remember, we want the index value of each integer. So we want to print what the index value is. And we want the value. And the value is... And here we've got two arguments to come into print, right? So the first one is what? Well, if we want the index, well, we just want I as it's iterating. So we could just say I. Well, for the second one, we want this, right? We want the array exercise at the index of I, what these changes are. We want to reflect, because we're going to run this conditional statement first, and then we're going to reflect the changes, okay? And this should be a solution. This should provide us with an adequate solution. So let's go ahead and run this code and see what happens. Let's see if I didn't make any mistakes here. Let's take a look. Let's take a look. So here we go. So we see the index is 0 and the value is 12. And that's our first one, right? Because our index is 0. Let's go to the second one. We see the index is 1 and the value is 0. Okay, that makes sense. And the value is 0. And whoa, wait a minute, it should be 2. We wanted to change it. We changed it to 0. And we changed it to 0 here too. The rest of the values are the same. Okay, so that's a good solution. Now let me show you something, just in case you're confused, because remember, we say that this starts at 0, but we are looping till 6. Okay, so hopefully this makes sense. This is a great starting point for arrays. Wrap your mind around it, get jiggy with it, and when you're feeling good, move on to the next exciting and interesting topic. in Rust. Okay, I'll meet you there.